everybody. I'm Piper Sparkman, and I'm going to be talking about my perspective on death and um, how I don't fear death. So death is a separation of mind and body, and that's the definition that Professor Hernandez gave to us on August 26th during lecture. And yeah, I personally don't fear death just because of my religious beliefs and um, that there is eternal life with Jesus, and that promise is just comforting and like assuring that there's no reason to be afraid of it. And so the questions that he asked was why this unusual response, and I guess that just stems from my religious beliefs. And I was able to talk to two of my interviewees, and they also had the same views as me. They don't fear death just because of their faith and how strong it is. And I thought that was pretty cool because it just kind of confirms like my views and just makes them a little bit stronger just because someone else has the same thing. And I think that's just very interesting to see how it correlates. And then how does lack of fear affect your perspective on life and your actions? So personally, I don't think about death often, just because there's no sense of like dwelling on it when it's bound to happen. I guess like it is kind of nerve-wracking to know that you're going to lose a family member or someone close to you, and that's tough, because it's a big change. But I think that knowing that it's going to happen and like being like so confident in your faith and knowing that it's better after life, I think that that's no reason for actions to change. How does the other question was, how does your lack of fear affect your relationship with others? I guess that's just back to being like confront with them and just t conversating and your opinions and not being afraid, because this is the worst we're gonna have here on Earth, and there's so much more after. And I think that that's just going to be so awesome. So, I really liked the lecture on September 6th, and he talked about metaphorical phrases, and I choose like more like passed away rather than like died or killed. I think that's just more respectful, and I think that ties along with my faith, just being more compassionate. And then a course media that he mentioned was how do you Know That You're Dead by Mary Roach. And I think that that was cool to read over because she mentioned um like donors and like donating and like organs. And I think that's cool because you could just save a life. Like I know it's sad, death is sad, but being able to save a life is also really awesome. So I think that that's another reason not to be afraid. Another course we did that he mentioned was, or that we were assigned, was how does it feel to die by ASAP Science? And I think that was the really interesting part of that video was step two, and it was extreme fatigue and unconsciousness, and there's like 72% of reuniting, and just that stuff is cool to see just because you get to meet with other people again. And I don't know, I just think that why not be excited for that? And then he also mentioned What's the Scariest Thing by Vsauce, and he talks about the fear of death being the center of the web and of like pain and the center of it. And so it can be scary because death is bound to happen, and there's everything revolves around it. And I just think that knowing that and not letting it affect your daily lives and all that is just also another reason not to be afraid. Like it shouldn't, just because it's gonna happen, you don't need to be afraid of it every day. Like it's gonna happen, so why be afraid? Don't let that bother you. And then on September 4th, he talked about in lecture, Hernandez talked about Ernest Beckett, and he mentioned religion help us not think about death. And I think that ties along with actions and the question about how it affects our life and actions. And I think that he mentioned like religious is made like to not think about death. And I think that was cool because like it does. Like when you believe and have your faith super strong, you don't think about death in the sense of fearing it. So I think that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, overall, I just really like this assignment and getting to hear from my interviews and just knowing that their perspectives were the same and their faith was strong as mine. And it just strengthens my views. And so, yeah, thank you so much.